Trump tells Mayor de Blasio to rehire all the cops who lost their jobs when he cut $1 billion from NYPD budget in response to BLM protests as crime and homelessness escalates in night. Donald Trump on Tuesday told the mayor of New York to hire back NYPD cops. NYPD's budget was cut by nearly $1 billion on June 30, from $6.1 billion to $5.2 billion. A large chunk of it was wiping 1,100 jobs from the July Police Academy class. They never graduated onto the force, and overtime has also now been reduced. A plainclothes anti-crime unit was also disbanded as part of the cuts. Crime in NYC is on the rise. There have been more shootings already in 2020 than there were in the entire year last year. Robberies on the Upper East Side have also increased, and homelessness is spreading across the city. De Blasio has told rich residents who fled NYC that they are fair weather friends who can be replaced. In the meantime, he's moved 13,000 homeless people into hotels around the city. By Harriet Alexander for DailyMail.com, published 6:26 BST, the 12th of August 2020, updated 13:30 BST, the 12th of August 2020. Donald Trump has told Mayor Bill de Blasio to hire back officers who the president suggested had been fired after almost $1 billion was cut from the NYPD's budget in response to BLM protests as crime and homelessness escalate in the city. Speaking on Tuesday afternoon at a White House briefing, Trump said, "I want to address the violence, looting, and rioting taking place in the Democrat-controlled cities of New York, Portland, Chicago, and Seattle," said Trump on Tuesday afternoon. The mayor, Bill de Blasio, should immediately hire back all of the police who were fired without justification. They were fired. I guess that's part of defund the police by the Democrats. They should hire New York City's finest back. On June 30th, the City Council voted, under de Blasio's suggestion, to strip $1 billion from the NYPD in response to intense calls from BLM protesters who surrounded City Hall and the courthouse, vandalizing it and staging demonstrations for days. A large chunk of the cut was eliminating the jobs of more than 1,000 rookies who are due to graduate from the police academy in July. A plainclothes anti-crime unit was also disbanded. At the time, it had only been a few weeks since NYPD cops struggled to contain looting across the city, and there were already complaints from top brass that the force didn't have the resources it needed. Since then, crime has shot up, with shootings and murders on the rise, and homelessness is spreading. As part of his pandemic response, de Blasio has moved 13,000 homeless people into hotels. Donald Trump on Tuesday afternoon blamed the city's police budget cut for a surge in violence, and the president said that the sharp increase in gun crime in New York was down to the June 30th budget cut. So far in 2020, more than 1,000 people have been shot in New York City, twice the number recorded last year. Homicides are also up 50%, according to statistics. Trump said that the surge in New York crime was down to politicians in the Democrat-run cities bowing to pressure from left-wing activists, and said New York should serve as a warning to the rest of the country. They want to pass federal legislation gutting and hamstringing every police department in America, he said. They want to end cash bail, close prisons, defund police departments, or at least largely defund. You see that with New York. $1 billion they took out of their police department, and crime has gone through the roof. And appoint far-left prosecutors who side with the criminals and target law-abiding citizens. Officers from the New York Police Department prepare to confront protesters on August 7. In the last 5 years, the number of shootings fell to a low of 754 in 2018, but is now rising. Police in Portland, Oregon arrest a protester in front of the precinct on Monday night. Police in Seattle block their road to protesters during a demonstration on July 26. If the left gains power, no city, town, or suburb in our country will be safe. De Blasio replied that Trump was making things up to distract from his own cuts to benefits, and urged the president to demand Congress pass another coronavirus stimulus bill. Real Donald Trump is making stuff up about America's cities because he wants you to forget that he's cutting Social Security, Medicare and unemployment during a pandemic, said de Blasio. We are not falling for it. Pass a stimulus. The president also returned to his usual attacks on Democrat-run cities which have seen waves of protest descending into violence. What you're seeing in Portland and Seattle, New York, Chicago is really the Democrat roadmap for America, he said. They want every city in America to resemble Portland, in a form. Portland has seen 75 straight nights of protests against police brutality since George Floyd was killed on May 25, while Seattle has also been turbulent. Chicago, like New York experiencing an abnormally bloody summer, saw a frenzy of looting in the early hours of Monday after a false rumor spread about a police shooting. Trump called on the leaders of Chicago, Portland and Seattle to allow the law enforcement officers to do their job. I'm urging them to deploy these resources to protect their citizens and to stop the violence and all the things that we watch on television going on, he said. Local authorities have to investigate and prosecute all of these crimes immediately. We'll work with you. And the local authorities know who they are. They know where they come from. They know a lot about them. They ought to get their act together and get it done, and we're ready to help. Let's block ads.
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.